Good morning, traders. Warm welcome to you from our trading room. We're live in the trading room here in the Asian session. This will be on YouTube for the weekly outlook. Quick reminder to all my YouTube viewers. The views we give here are temporary, which means that even within today, most of these views could change. If you're one of my regular viewers, you would know what I mean by that. We explained that a lot in a lot of my past videos and when we did the live sessions. If you're new to this channel, the first time you're seeing this video, go watch some more of my videos and you'll probably see why I'm saying that all views we take here are temporary. It doesn't mean it's not going to go. It means that if structural change happens, we will change the view, right? So quick up to all my YouTube viewers, please leave your comments and your likes, your comments are going to help the channel to get more popular. We'd also like you to share the channel itself with all of you traders who are struggling to understand how the market moves. Let's go. We're going to start with the dollar index. I'm going to do all the majors. I'm going to do some of the cryptos, and I'm going to do some of the indices. If you want the entire list of what we do, you can join our live sessions in the New York Open and the London Open. If you would like to join them, send me a Skype message for all the details of how you can join that session. Thank you very much. Let's go. Dollar index. Last week, I told you dollar index is likely going to go up. It started the upside. Now, the question is, how high would it go? So far, we're going really aggressive. So I wouldn't be surprised if we end up doing something like this. Or if we end up doing something like this, then we will comment whether this is all the correction, and that is possible, and we drop. If it gets to that high, if it breaks the top there and it starts to come back down, then we will end up with a flat here that is going to be dropping. And we would assume that this is a contracting flat from that point. Any consolidation here will confirm the contracting flat. So would it consolidate? In theory, if you understand wave analysis and you understand how it works, you don't have to know whether it's going to do that. You have to know the possibilities of it existing, because any next move would have to confirm itself before you even start trading it. And that's the whole thing that gives you the edge in the market. Knowing the possibilities and then waiting for the confirmation of one of those possibilities. That's all you need. And if you got that, you have an edge in the market. You have a better edge than you're going to have using any other methods or any other series of things, strategies or news or whatever. Because if you're waiting for confirmation of news, you're late. The weird thing about trading news is you can't wait for confirmation. Because when the confirmation comes, it's already gone. You have to be in before the news. So trading news is dangerous in terms of waiting for confirmation. In the sense of using wave analysis, good. You get a confirmation, you take the trade. You don't have to be in before it happens. So it's consolidating right now. And I'm expecting this consolidation to continue to break out, like this one broke out, and like this one broke out. Now, is it going to break out and do this, or is it just going to break out and break this top and then go down back? Now, that is the two things I understand from breakout every time they happen. Is that sometimes they just break the stop and turn, and sometimes they break out and they go. And if you think you can guess which one is going to happen now, congratulations. You don't know. You just don't know anything about wave analysis. Now, here's the thing. We have a consolidation. Here's the next thing I'm going to tell you about that consolidation. It can work its way down like this, all the way back to the bottom. And I'm saying we need a breakout. Well, like I tell you, remember I said at the starting, by the end of today, this analysis for that breakout could change if we see structural change to the downside. Unless we see structural change to the downside, we cannot change that analysis. So now we're going with a buy. I think the buy for this one could easily go here. Could put that there before breaking out the top, because we've got a new low here. If they break out and break the top and start a turn, we will get a break-even trade. Most likely we'll get a very small loss because your stop has to be here. So in whatever case, whatever happens to this trade, as long as we get tagged, the chance of our getting it for break-even or a small loss is very, very high. If it goes, that's a trade we want. I don't think it's going to go. So why take the trade? Well, I don't think. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. I don't know how it's going to go. And that means I take the trade every time. If you hesitate in taking the trade, you're going to miss most of the good ones. You take them and you manage them. Number one, most important thing you're going to do in your trading is managing your trades. It's not clicking a trade, it's managing it properly. Anybody can click a trade. And you might even be right. Clicking the trade, you might click sell right now and be right about it. It's not whether you click a right trade, it's what do you do with that now? How do you manage that trade afterwards? Because you can be right for 10 minutes and then the next 15 minutes you're wrong. So you click sell in 10 minutes and go down. You have that 10 pips, and the next 5 minutes you're already 20 pips upside down. So trade management is what is important. So we're looking for buy setups. I'll put this as a buy. It's an active buy. Silver, sell setup. That should be an active sell right now. For my traders, there should be an active sell. We have a flag there and we're dropping. It might go back for that one, but I wouldn't really go with that. With the possibilities, we can look at this as a small running flat. I think that makes more sense as a small running flat there. So this sell is good. Let's see where that takes us. It's an active sell right now. Gold was a sell on Friday. You should have been out of that trade for positive break even. There is a chance gold could go up one more. Now, not necessarily from here. If they work its way down to the bottom here and then do that, perfect. You leave the buy and you go for the sell. Can it go much deeper? Yes, gold can go much deeper. Gold could go much deeper. So let's wait to see if we get a consolidation here. And I think it's a consolidation. It's not a reversal. This is pretty deep by itself already. So if it keeps coming down, we'll just wait for it to go back up. Go for this, sell. So as of now, we're waiting for a sell setup. Slightly the upside, I don't think we want to buy that as yet. If you want to be aggressive, you can go with the buy to see how high this goes up. But I don't think that will go pretty high. We broke out of the structure already, so I'm not expecting it to go pretty high. And especially if this kick comes a little lower, we'll cancel the idea of a buy. Euro, I think we sold that. You could take that off. That was selling under the low. You can take that off. Probably we can put a sell here again. I think we put an active sell here again. Because if they drop again, if this drop again, the chances are it might drop very far. This is the market was slow. I wouldn't put that as a running flat, but I could put two smaller flats. And sometimes when the market closes, you get this, the market open very slow, you get that, and then it takes off. If it goes up from here, shouldn't bother you. We'll wait for a deeper correction, then sell. If it's coming down as slow as it's coming down now, within the next 2-3 hours, we'll take off the entry order. We don't need the entry order. This is coming down slow. Right? If this is kind of doing that, take it off, because then it go back up, make a flat, and then drop. My voice is a little hoarse. Sorry about that. Let's go. Pong kind of break out of this. That was a sell on Friday. You can take that off. It's kind of breaking out, but it's not breaking out aggressively. And if it's not breaking out aggressively, the chances are it could even come like this. There's a good chance you might even see it do this. But then if we do that, we still have this. So the running flat is still valid. Right? So if it goes up there and then come down, that could be a good sell setup from the top. We'll wait for a sell, just like we sold this here. We'll wait for a sell here and take the trade down. All right? Now here's the thing. Can we buy this? If it gives you a decent correction, we can buy it. It's not looking decent. It's not looking like a real good flat right now. Or even a flag. It's kind of looking, no, I probably, let me see if we can find ourselves a running flat here. If this comes back here, you want it to come beyond this point a little, and we can confirm a possible running flat, it will make sense buying it. For now, they're just doing this, so the buy might be a little difficult to manage. But if it gets a pullback first before we go, we take the trade. Sorry about that, guys. My voice is definitely giving me some. You see, let's go. Aussie also could go back. So let's say this, all the buys, gold could go up a little, euro could go up a little, pound could go up a little, Aussie could go up a little. So if any of the sells that we're putting on tag you and it's not going, get rid of the trades. Because by London Open, I wouldn't be surprised if all of these just go back up. And this one could give us a surprise up move here before it comes down, because we have that sharp move sticking out there. You guys were discussing that in trading room, which is great. I think you got that very nice. And the good thing about this trading room is that I don't have to be there. It's always working. It works. It's open 24/7. So our traders can go in there and discuss trades without me. Some traders are asking me about the trading room and how they work, and if they could join. And I think I had an offer from a number of traders. How much does it cost to join your trading room? It's free, but only for our members. You have to be a member of the group before it's free for you. And it's free for lifetime. So it's not a paid one. It's a group where you have to be accepted by being a member of our group, which means you understand our analysis before you can be in there. If you'd like to join that as well, you know what to do. So I think this, we will probably be watching for a possible running flat here. I think putting an entry order here is safe for the sell. It might not happen. Remember, we did that the last time here, where when we put the sell and we put the buy. And if you took the buy, we explained that that buy might not go very far, but if it goes and you took it, you have to get out and then you have to have a sell here as well. So you would have actually, you know, if you took a small loss here, you would have compensated on the sell. We can repeat the same thing here. The sell is a very good trade. That is, if we assume that this is a running flat here or expanding flat, this could happen. We're going to get this, but not necessarily now. We could get it here. So we're going to get it. It's just not that it's going to come now. At the same time, I'll take these two off. Those are useless now. And the same logic we had here, right? Remember that this could be a big flat here and it will drop, or they will go up back for this one and then come down. Well, the same logic we're using here. You can come now and you can put a buy above the top. In this case, again, if you get tagged and it's not going, get rid of the trade. Right, the same concept. If they tag you there and they're staying there for so long, get rid of the trade. So the same thing. If this goes tagged and it stays there a couple, it has to go. It's not going, get rid of it. Tag you, stay there. Well, you're out of the trade. So we'll see if it drops or if it go back up. Both of them possible. Now, for my YouTube viewers, I'm not making trade calls for you. I'm explaining to my traders how we would, what strategy we'd use to trade this, how we trade it. What I'm not explaining to you that they already know is how they're going to manage that trade. So if you're going to take any trade of your own, not of what I said, but of your own, because you've decided it's a good trade, you have to know how you're going to manage your trade. Just be aware of that. We're going to put your stops and all of that. So I'll put this as both ways, which means as of now, we're going to treat it as both ways. If it goes lower, we're going to have one direction. New Zealand, I think we do have a few sharp ones. That was a flat, this was a flat, this, well, you can either call it a flat because it has a tree, or you could wait for it if it repeats the same thing that New Zealand, that Aussie has, and go back and then come. And if we have some upside on the other pairs, the bigger upside is an Aussie, and the bigger upside might probably be in New Zealand. The two biggest upsides will be an Aussie and New Zealand, not on the other pairs. The other pairs are smaller upside move. On this one, we really don't have the same thing we have on Aussie. This is not going to go up now. I wouldn't even put an entry order for a buy, even if it's going to go up. You notice Aussie has one sharp move, and they're correcting. If you look at New Zealand, you got a sharp move, it dropped back, and it's correcting. So when you get that type of structure, you're actually expecting this to maybe do this and come back here. And that would be pretty deep. So I'll wait for it to go back up, and then we'll look for the sell. So basically look for a sell setup, but wait for a flag. As of now, there is no buy setup. Can that change within a day? Very quick. And this might even change into a buy if it becomes a running flat at the top, if it doesn't come deeper, but becomes a running flat. We'll buy. Yen, I think we have more upside. It's probably bigger than we expected. We thought the small one would break out on Friday. It didn't break out. It's probably going to stay here for a while. And then we're going to get something like this maybe, and then break out. We're coming to break this top. We've already agreed on that. We're coming to break this top. But it doesn't, this is just assuming it's going to go that much. It doesn't have to go that much. It can go less. And work perfect so far. So I think we're going to break the top, but we have a setup for a buy. So go for the buy. It's an active buy right now. Not that it's going to go right now. I don't think it's going to go anywhere right now, because it has to come back down to break this low. I think we might even stay here for longer than that. This could come back here. I think we can go back up because this is a sharp one. There's a chance to come back here and then go, but put the entry order for the buy and keep it. This is the yen. Surprises do happen. So if they happen, you'll be the trade. Now, once it breaks this low, we'll try to get it from the bottom. So for my traders, once it breaks this low, depending on how far it goes, I don't think you want to go with that. It's too close. The sell is like way too close. Well, can it be a surprise before they go? If you can manage the risk, it's worth even going for the sell. But you have to be quick at getting out, right? If you can, then don't do that. Wait for it to break the low and then we start looking for the buy because it will go up. So it's kind of, it's take this off. This was with this small flag, take that off. It's like actually making a really big correction here now. So you've got this piece and you're getting this piece. Okay. Kind of pull back, go. They're pulling back deep into this. So when they do that, what I'm thinking of, it's going to go up, but it's probably going to make a bigger flat here. Because this is not taking off like an impulse. It's actually, you have a flat inside of the flat. You have a flat here, see? And even this piece is starting to make consolidation. So we might break this. We might come close to the top, but then we're going to come back here and then go. Let it break this top and make flags before we start buying. Or let it come back to the bottom and we start buying from here going up. Because if this was going, they'll probably be gone already. I don't think the risk there is worth it. If you want to take the trade, and then the MACD is not showing like they're trying to go very hard. Let's see if it comes back first. It will be a buy setup, but you need to wait for the flag or something. Got it? Okay, that was a stop. This was the buy. Could have gone lower. Could have got it from here. I think it was the news was why I put it there. I can't remember why I put it so high. But if after the news, I don't think it got tagged in the news when we were trading, but afterwards you could bring it there lower and go for that trade. It's now still a buy, but with a lot of caution. There's still a buy setup here. But remember, once we break this top, we completed this one. Either you take 1, 2, 3, or you go 1, 2, 3. Both of those are okay. This by itself could be a correction, or you could make it a flat in there. Originally, we had a flat in there, right? So I think we stick with a flat because of the bigger flat in here. So we were expecting this to be a running flat. I think we got that correct. I'll go with this as a expanding flat. We'll stay with that. And we've got 1, 2, and we're getting the third one here. On the big picture, can this actually take off to the upside without coming back? This is a deep pullback, but could it actually be doing this now? Which means it doesn't break the top and come back for a flat. We're making the assumption that it's going to break the top and come back for a flat, that we're going to get this flat, right? They're going to go there, come here, and then go. What if they actually go from here? I think we should take the trade and try to get break even should it not go. This is a deep pullback, but not deep enough so that it can go. This was a deep one and it still went very high. I think we've got a few. Look at this flat at the top here and it still came all the way to the bottom. I think we thought this would go up when we had that flat here, right? We were focusing this coming one more here, go back one more and then come. Because we were expecting this downside up, but that didn't happen. It actually just came down. So I think we go for the buy. We take the buy and make the assumption that it's gonna take off and not come back, but manage a trade for break even should it not go. So I'll put an entry above the top because we already made it up. It might come down a little more. I think it will. It's already showing signs that this will come down a little more here. You might not get the buy it lower. So it will come here, but we might not get the buy it lower. It might take off from here. Should it work its way down to the bottom here, we'll buy from here going up. We'll definitely buy. So I think we go for the buy. This should be an active buy. Okay, Euro Aussies for traders. It looks like a running flat for one more up. Keep your eyes on that. If it stays here longer, you sell it, but it looks like a running flat. So this is a good buy, actually. Even if you close the trade here, this is a good buy. You didn't have to get in back for this piece. So let's see what happens. Remember, we got 1, 2, we still have to come back again. Make another flat and then go. So at some point, even if this breaks the top here, oh, sorry. Even if this goes break the top there, we have to come back here to complete this flat. And then go. You don't need me to show you an example, right? Just look here. Pretty much easy why this happened. And so the same thing. So it comes here, it's probably going to do that and go. So expect it to come down back one more. Look for a sell. Okay, let's look at some of the I look at some of the majors, some of the indices, and then we'll go down and look at some cryptocurrencies as well. So look for a sell setup. So this one didn't drop. That turned out to be the flat, but we have one. Whatever is happening in here, it could drop again. There is this sharp wave up and sharp wave down. but this is 3. So we go in 1, 2, 3. If we drop sharp and go back up for this one, I wouldn't, it would be still okay. So I think putting an entry order here for a sell is not a bad idea. If it goes higher, take it off. But from this point, if it drops, it's a good one. If they're going to repeat this piece, they're going to repeat this, which not necessary because you'll probably get an expanding flat here. So it's not necessary to repeat it. But should they repeat it, they'll have to do this and then do this and then come down here before we eventually go up. All right, so we're going to break the top, that's for sure. We just need to come back for this one. And whether we're going to get that sharp wave inside, we don't know. It could happen at the top, it could happen at the bottom here. We'll see. But the sell is a good idea. So I'll go for an aggressive sell here. S&P 500. Well, the sell was a good idea, but it didn't really go immediately. So I'll assume we got break even there. And we can sell this now. Yeah, that's kind of a flat of its own there. This piece kind of make a small flat here. It's dropping. I think this could go good enough to drop once it breaks this low. Go to break even because of this pullback. All right, so once it breaks the low, go to break even. If they drop more, good for you. If they pull back, you get break even. So this would be a sell setup. Okay, stay away from this. This actually has a buy setup. We've got to move down, we've got to move up, we've got to move down, we've got another move up. Okay. This didn't complete the flat, so we're in more. So 1, 2, 3. We have to go back up and then come back. I think there's a series of up and down here. If you get a flag here for a buy, we can take it. We need this to consolidate here more. And then go for the buy. So this could be a good buy up and down. Remember the sell on that one is short. So if this consolidate, we could get this sell here, but then we could go back up when it breaks the low. So, but this is already, this broke the low already. So this is actually a buy. So if you have to buy, this is the better one. If you have to sell, there's something for it. So I'll look for a buy setup. Yep, this one also dropped. I think you should have got some profit out of this. It will probably drop a little more lower. I think we can see the same structure here like we have in the S&P 500. The possibility for this to drop. How far? That's a big question. There's no specific point to the downside. It could go very far or it could stop and turn anytime. Right? We're coming from the very top here. So if they want to go back and retest the low, it could drop quite a lot before you get any deeper correction. So the sell is a good idea. It's an active sell. And there is no point where it has to stop and go back up because this is the first move coming down. It can stop at any point. We do have divergence here. And that is telling us that they're starting to get some weakness now. We know divergence could stay there and you could get this and you could get this and you could get this and you could still have divergence here. Right until it goes back up. So that doesn't stop you from selling. That's just a caution point. Knowing that the momentum is dead, especially after that one. I think we could get a drop here and a pullback. We'll probably go to running flat eventually. So that should be a trade. Nifty. Oh, you're getting a sell setup here now. A very nice one for me. Now, this might be either deeper correction or this could be total downside because we broke the stop already. In the daily, I've shown that when they were here, that you would definitely go break this stop. And then what happens after that is anybody's guess. Right? We have divergence, a lot of it. So can they either repeat this again and go or totally drop? Both of those possible. So they can repeat a deeper correction here and go again, maybe not so deep and go again, or they can literally drop. So the sell from the top is always a good idea. That's a good sell setup. And I think that's a really good sell setup if you're trading Nifty. Go for that. DAX. Yeah, it's going to come down. It's a flat. I think we can already agree that this is huge. And it's going to come down here, but then it's going to go back up there and come here, and then you get a buy setup. Get a perfect buy setup. Now, can you trade in that range? That's up to you. I'll show you how it's likely going to behave, and then you decide. Because all of you have your own broker, how you trade, what you do. So let's see. Tesla. Okay, Tesla broke the top. It's coming down. Let's see how big Tesla can drop. Not really as of now. I'll go with correction. As of now, I'll go with a possible repeat of this. Come here, go there, come here, and then continue to go. I don't think we're dropping to the bottom. I don't see structurally that is happening right now. So do we have divergence between these two? Let's see. Nope, we don't. This one is higher. So maybe a correction like this again. But you can sell in that range of correction. So if you get a flag here, you can sell for the next impulse, get out, take profit, wait for it to go back up, repeat the process, and then look for the buy setup. Bitcoin. Yep, it's going to drop a little more definitely. This is already showing you the signs of downside. Now, this is showing you downside sign, but the question is how far would it drop? Let's assume this was all the correction here, right? This here is all the correction, and that is the top. And this could drop quite a lot. Right? If that is the top, we could come back all the way to the bottom here. Now, I know all the crypto traders are going to get crazy. That was a buy. This was a buy, which should have been a break even. Put it here. That is a low. I'm going to take off this buy. I know crypto traders are going to go crazy if they see this webinar. Definitely, they're going to come back and tell you how crazy I am. I have no idea about cryptocurrencies. One thing they're right about is I do have no idea about cryptocurrencies. Literally, very little do I know about cryptocurrencies. Here's the thing. I'm not telling you anything about cryptocurrencies. I care less about it. I'm telling you what the market structure is telling me. And guess what? I've been more right than they were. The people who study cryptocurrencies and all its details, they understand it. They just don't know how it moves. The difference with what I know and what they know is I know how it moves. I would care less whether this was Bitcoin or any other thing. It's a chart. And what I'm good at is telling you how chart behaves, regardless of what the hell that chart is. You can bring me any chart in the world. My prediction is going to be the best. There's no second to that. So let's go. And that's not self-praise. That's a fact. So I'm telling you, when I look at charts like this, what I think they're going to do, and the depth of how it can behave, and how you're going to know whether it's confirmed that behavior or not. Now, should you sell this? I think you should. The reason you should sell it is because I am looking at it this way. Now, I'm not saying you have to go sell it. I'm saying if I were trading it, I should sell it, because I look at it this way. Could that possibly be a running flat? If I'm looking at it and I think that I do have a running flat possibility there, then what I need to do is in this up move, do I have divergence? And yes, I do. So I have divergence. I have the possibility of a running flat. Could this thing come back all the way to? By the way, that was a prediction we had, that it could come there and then go back up. And this arrow is actually the length of this one. Now, the thing about it is they don't have to be equal. This one, as it stands right now, is good enough to be the end of it and come back and retest the slope before it goes back up. Now, remember, I don't know anything about cryptocurrencies, and I'm already telling you that even if it comes back here, it will go back up to the top. And you're going to look at that and say, well, that's just 2 arrows. Why the hell would it do this? Well, take a snapshot of the 2 arrows and you'll learn something of how market behaves and how chart patterns behave. So would this be the big drop? Not necessarily. It could go higher. This one could just come here, probably even go back up. It might even repeat this higher and then eventually come back here. But there's a very, very high probability of this coming back to the bottom. So every sell setup you get from this point is a good one to take a look at and say, you know what, this thing might drop. And if it's going to drop, if I'm in the trade, I probably want to get out. Now, I don't think it's going to drop right now, because if this is the low, this is the flat. That means this one has to go back up there. Now, should you buy from here to there? I think that's a bad idea. That's really not a good idea. Considering this has a 1, 2, 3. If it makes a 1, 2, 3, and you think this is going to go out of the trend, you can go with that, but this is the move down. So even if it gets to the top here, well, we're going to come back into the bottom, and only then we're going to go up. Now, that is definitely confusing you if you're not a wave analysis trader. My trader looked at everything I just drew and understood exactly what I'm saying. If this comes up to the top, we'll come back here and we'll go up 1 more. If it stays in this range here, that's a good sell setup. So you can wait for it to go back up and then try to see if you can get a sell setup from the top. Because when it breaks this low, how far this is going to go, I don't know, but that would be a good trade. So I'm just going to put it as an equal of this. But by then, I think we could be coming back to retest this low and lower. I mean, all the way back to the bottom. Well, not in a straight line, of course. So I'll put it as a sell setup, as an active sell for that matter of fact. Yeah, this one was a sell and we were in this range. See, the magic works, right? We knew this one was going to drop, but there's a reason I put those two lines there so that you can track the way these two lines are behaving. Because we're in that channel. Now the channel has just become a little even more better. It's going down. You can't sell it anymore there. Take this off. If this channel keeps doing this, a very good chance we're going to go and break this stop. Now, what if it's just a running flat? It's a 1, 1, 2, 3 there, and that running flat just ended. If that running flat just ended, all you need is a flag at the bottom here for a continuation to the downside. Where would it take you to the downside? Well, if we're going to drop here, we might come and break this low. We're still in this move. And we've gone back pretty high to it. So that might end up being a bigger consolidation here. I'm more inclined to believe that's a channel and we're going to break out and retest the stop. When we break the top, well, then we'll decide, are we coming back down either for this one or for total downside? Or are we coming back to retest the stop? Now, the structure in this is slightly different. It's not the same as we have in Bitcoin. So because we have these two here, there's a good chance that, you know, this one is not necessarily the most impulsive move up. Even if we take that to be on the correction, well, we could break the top and then come back here, then go again. Or we could just break the top and do this and then go again. But the top seems very likely to break. So if you're in this one, you might want to just manage it your way to see how it goes there. Let's go. XRP. Well, this is coming down. Nothing new. I have it from there going lower. Why? Let me take a look. Can't remember why. Oh, yeah. Come back like this. And then from there, possible upside again. So we're looking at this as an up move, a down move, an up move, probably come back here, probably go back up, and still be within this whole big consolidation is happening. Now, can this actually go back up? It came pretty high. I thought it would stay right here, but it came pretty high. It came back to this level. That's not high enough. This flag would have to come and break this low. So you're going to get a down move first. And then if, you know, they want to go back up, this could be a flat for upside. So when it comes here, if we get a buy setup, we'll take a trade. If it keeps dropping, well, it's going to go back very deep. Not in a straight line. There'll be deeper pullbacks, by the way. This move went down with a lot of pullback. See this one here? Big flat drop before it came here and then go. So we may get a similar move like that if we're going down. Let's see. This is still a sell. I would leave it as a sell. AD is sell setup. I think this is clear. You're getting a sell setup forming it. Now, can this push back to the top? If it does, then we'll consider it for a buy. But right now, it's a sell setup. LTC, sell setup, still valid. That sell is valid. This sell here is valid. If you want to go, there's a sell setup forming here for this to come down. I think the pattern is pretty clear. It's about the clearest pattern you get. And when you break this low, you're going to go back up. This is a really, really nice pattern. Structurally, it's perfect almost. You don't see them so clear so often. Pretty clear pattern. So I think you can trade it. Downside and upside. So guys, I think I'm going to leave you there with this one. If you want the entire list, and if you want to join it live and come and watch how we trade live, send me a Skype message. It's in the description. You just scroll on the description. The first thing you'll find is the Skype. Click on it, send me a message. You would like to have access to the live session and tell you what the details of how you can access it. If you'd like to join our group fully, you'll also get the details there. Send me a Skype message. Thank you very much. Trade well. You have a whole week ahead of you. Trade carefully. And remember, trade with good money management. It's going to be a savior for you if you make mistakes. Thank you very much. Bye.